Hello.
Welcome to another show, Kaupr TV, Leon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to everyone who's joining us.
And what are we going to do today?
Well, today, first, we're joined in the studio here by Christian Ander from BTCX, who's going to share something really interesting. Then we'll talk about some Nordic and global news, including a sharp follow-up on what we discussed last time we were here. Then we will have Markus Myrstad from Januar in Denmark, will be joining us remotely, talking about stablecoins. We'll dive into some prediction markets, and then Venkat will be joining us remotely as well on some technical analysis.
Yeah, so that's a new part of the show that we will have perhaps every time. And this is the second time we are live from a professional studio, and we really loved the feedback that we had gotten. And it's important also to say that this has been possible because we have been supported by 4 partners, and that is BTCX. Which is then a Swedish crypto exchange. It's Bybit, which is a global exchange moving into the Nordics. It is CoinMotion, which is a Finnish crypto exchange, but also have launched in Sweden. And it's K33, located in Norway, but also listed on a Swedish stock exchange. So we are very happy, Leon, that they have supported us, right?
Yeah, they sort of made this possible to continue on.
Yeah, and then we are also then able to follow up with a show every month, at least for this season.
Yeah. We'll try to do that.
Yes, and then the first guest that we are supposed to have is then from Christian Ander. Yeah. But the topic that we are supposed to talk about, that is onboarding in the crypto exchange.
Yep.
The Nordic crypto exchange that they have invested in Bank ID. In Norway, they have invested in Vips. In Sweden, they have invested in Swish. No. Swish. Yeah. And this is also part of the user experience and the way to make the onboarding as easy as possible.
Yeah. I have personally tried this method myself, and it's a really easy method to just register and start trading just right away. So I think for a lot of sort of retail investors just trying to get the experience, it's a good product.
Yes, and more crypto exchanges are doing this. But one that maybe very early on was Firi in Norway. Maybe that is also one reason that they have been able to recruit more than 400,000 customers.
Yeah, we discussed this before, not on camera or anything, but between ourselves, that's probably a huge part of why they have had such a huge growth.
Yeah, so we will then now have a short clip from an interview that we did with Tuk Wang, the CEO and founder of Firi last autumn, where he explains his passion about usability and user experience. A short video.
But I always believed that you could build a great product for users using more technology. And since we live in Norway, I've grown up in the world of digital banks. So you have Bank ID, you have all this infrastructure that you could use. I just thought, why not use this technology? Because everybody's using it. It shouldn't be that difficult. So we are actually the first one to do, for example, Bank ID verification of our users. We were first to do PSD2, open banking. Think about the customer journey has been the #1 obsession at Firi at all times.
Yes, and now we can welcome Christian Ander from BTCX to the studio.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yes, and we had prepared that we should talk about this topic that we have introduced, like onboarding on Bank ID and also bank-to-bank. You have been launching news about this this autumn. Yes. But just some minutes ago, you went out with the even more breaking news.
Yes.
So we are skipping that manuscript, and we are then moving on to what you have shared today. And what is it, Christian?
So basically, we announced a new strategy that Goobit and BTCX will pursue a consolidation and merger strategy for the Nordics. And we believe the market is very ripe to do this currently. We see a big interest in Sweden. Big companies focus on this market and the Nordics, which basically shows that the Nordic market is very mature. So Coinbase, Bybit, Binance, everyone is looking to Sweden. And here we are, been here for almost 15 years, so we have a very unique position in the market. And we believe that the consolidation phase will be led by someone like us, and we're ready to take the first step.
But what does it mean? Does it mean that you are for sale, or are you on the buying side, or is it a merger? What are you thinking about? What kind of structure can we see?
It completely depends on the other partner. I mean, if Goldman Sachs comes in and say, hey guys, we're not going to buy Goldman, so then probably they will buy us. But if it's like an equal partner or other crypto company which been in the market for as long as we have, then it's a different story. We're a public company, and that basically depends on the structure of the deal and the mother companies, etc.
But what is driving this? Is it cost? Is it nobody earns money in the Nordics outside except from Piri?
You will see foreign companies just removing the Nordic scene as we know it today?
I think it will change, and the cost side is definitely one part. When the MiCA regulation came along, that also puts a lot of pressure to staff up on the regulatory side. We have, and it's not ending with MiCA. I mean, we have DORA, we have tax legislation coming, and it will only increase. So it makes sense to consolidate and have like one common unit. And then you have the tech side and also the commercial side. And as the topic, when more and more companies have Swish and Bank ID, you also get higher competition, and the fees will also be pressure. So in the end, it's very good for the end consumer that both competition is coming here, but also having a stable and consolidating the markets. And as you say, almost all crypto companies in the Nordics have red numbers today, and that's not good for anyone. So it's also a very good opportunity to start this strategic structure right now.
Maybe I could say that we have seen it coming, because that's why also Kaupr is now a Nordic media company, because we thought that things would happen on the Nordic scale, but we didn't expect it to happen so soon.
Probably not.
Of course, it's not concrete yet. It's an initiative. It's an M&A strategy. Okay, if we think a little about potential partners then, because you have a cooperation with K33, that's a strategic cooperation. Could that be a good marriage?
Of course, I'm not saying who we are talking with and how long we come with partners, but we already have a strategic relationship with K33 and it's working really well. So this we will continue to work on, and how far that will go, I don't know. But they are a good, strong partner in Norway. And as I see it, the best way to structure a good company in the Nordics is to have both Sweden, Norway, and Finland, and of course Denmark. Unfortunately, we don't have a Danish company in Kaupr yet. Or do you have that?
No, we have some people working on the ground, but not an ink or something like that. No, there was another company 1 year ago, Greenmark. They had a vision that they said they should focus on consolidation. They own Trio in Sweden, and they have bought North Crypto in Finland.
Yeah.
They have been maybe struck by some uphill the last 3 or 5 months, and also have changed their leadership. But still, could Greenmark be a candidate?
Of course. I'm not closing the door for anyone. But of course, it also needs to make sense. They're already in Sweden, and the overlap of existing customers might be very big. I don't know, but it might be. So it makes more sense for me running BTCX to look abroad for other companies. And also we're talking with companies outside of Europe as well. When hopefully we have the MiCA license in place, it's still waiting for the final verdict from financial inspection. That will also make us a good partner for international companies who want to enter the European market.
And we have already seen some of them in the Nordics. We have seen OKX, we have seen Bybit, and perhaps Coinbase. I mean, then we are looking outside of Europe, so that could be an alternative.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's an interesting time, and also we've been around for almost 15 years, as I said, and we learned a lot during these years. And what we have that newer companies doesn't have is like we have the operational resilience, been around for many bear markets, and also been around with banking. Banking really changes. One year they're very pro Bitcoin or crypto, and the next quarter they're not. I remember when we had a discussion with the like board levels of a big Swedish bank when Elon Musk put Bitcoin on his balance sheet in Tesla, and everyone in that board meeting was driving Teslas. So suddenly everything was okay, and then he sold his Bitcoin.
That was back when crypto used to be fun. You could go on Twitter and Elon would tweet something and the price would change.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Yeah, especially when he started with his Dogecoin era. That was hilarious. So we've been around, but we still have the relationship with all the major banks in Sweden, and know that eventually all of them will have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. It's just a matter of time and patience. And now we're getting to a position when this really start happening more and more.
And there's, of course, one question that I have to ask you, because, Christian, you're known to be a Bitcoiner. And the retail part of your business is Bitcoin only, more or less, easy access to buy and sell and store Bitcoin. Will you have to then leave that position when you are merging with other companies, or how would that be?
It's a good question. There is no second best, and Bitcoin is the best. We want to offer the signal to noise ratio as good as we can, but I also need to emphasize the wants and the needs from our customer more than my own conviction. So I'm pretty sure that one day we will offer more than just Bitcoin. And we have that in the past as well. We had Ethereum also back in the days. But it's also a commercial decision. And when we grow, other assets will be offered. I'm pretty sure about that. And then we also have this stablecoin discussion surfacing and becoming more and more interesting. So that's also another asset. And who knows, depending on our partner is tokenized other form of asset like real estate or stocks or commodities. I'm not saying we're doing that, but I'm seeing it's happening, and at some point that will be interesting to have.
I think we saw it also the other day that both Coinbase and Kraken offered stock-related offerings and not tokenized stocks in the case of Coinbase. So we also see a sort of emerging bid with classical marketplaces.
Yes.
Could that also be a candidate for a merger with you?
Yes, it can. And I am talking with traditional banks, and there is interest. Unsure of how far they are willing to go into this crypto space. Sweden is still lagging. But it's interesting because Bitwise entered Sweden. It's a huge company, and they have attracted a lot of traditional funds and money and stuff. So the traditional banking, even in Sweden, is coming more and more to a tipping point where they understand that we need to meet somewhere. And I also think that stockbrokers like Avanza and Nordnet, they will also become more like a crypto broker, because it makes sense. Why separate stocks and crypto? Legally, they're not the same, so that might be a barrier. But practically, it's an investment in something you believe in. If it's a crypto company or a stock company, the actual fundamental will become closer and closer. And then, yeah.
Do you have any time frame on this? Because you have opened the door and saying that you can invite people to the party and you can join the party.
Yeah.
It's sort of your Tinder moment, this.
I would say now is the time to act. We're in a kind of crypto winter. It looks like it, and it's still like we don't know the momentum in the market, but still it's slowing down, and it also means that during these phases where it slows down, it's perfect to do strategic decisions like this. So when the next hype is coming, we don't know when. Maybe it's coming in the summer or to the autumn or next year. Then we want to be ready. That's how you generate income.
Thank you very much, then, Christian, for sharing this exciting news with us. And of course, we will follow up and see who will then be interested and what can happen with you or without you. We will see.
Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing with us, Christian.
Thank you, Morten. Glad to be here.
And then we will share a short video about our sponsor that includes BTCX, but also some of the other players that we have talked about right now, Bybit, CoinMotion, and K33. So run the ad, please.
This program is sponsored by BTCX, Sweden's first Bitcoin company, and today a leading Nordic player making Bitcoin accessible through simple exchanges and OTC services. Bybit, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges. In Europe, Bybit offers its services through Bybit EU, a MiCA-regulated crypto company with a strategic focus on the Nordic region. CoinMotion, Finland's largest crypto platform and one of the Nordics' leading regulated platform for investing in digital assets, now also launched in Sweden. And K33, a Norway-based brokerage and research firm specializing in digital assets, providing professional services and in-depth insights for investors and institutions. A huge thank you to all our sponsors. Now, back to the program.
Yes, and now we will continue with news. As you have understood, that maybe the most important news we have already broken. But in the Nordics at the moment, we are in a sort of a result season for the companies that are listed on different stock exchanges, and several companies have talked about this spring that there has been a lot of good circle or turnovers on the, especially on the OTC list exchanges. And one of the companies that went out yesterday was K33. They had also launched the results a couple of weeks before, because they had had so great turnover the last months that they felt that they had to share that to the market. But yesterday, Torbjørn Bull Jensen, when he was having a webinar in the morning and talking to the community, he focused mainly on the Bitcoin bit and sort of underlined that there was this huge movement within the structure of finance, and so that the Bitcoin price being that bad is sort of an odd thing maybe for someone to understand. And maybe that is also the situation with the global news, Leon, or how is that? What are we waiting for on the upside or on the downside?
Well, since last we were here, the market has been falling pretty hard. A bunch of news, a lot of things not really anything concrete, I feel like. But for me personally, and a lot of the sentiment seems to be still around the Clarity Act, which is now, some say, could be up to an 80% resolution scenario by April, which is really bullish. Last week, there was a closed-door meeting at the White House with players from both banking and crypto, still trying to figuring out the stablecoin issue. And sort of the big takeaway from that is that the yield on idle stablecoin balance is likely effectively dead. But yeah, still on the Clarity Act.
Yeah, and for new watchers or viewers, what is the Clarity Act? Because last year we had another act which is called the Genius.
Yeah.
And what is the difference between these two, and why is there so much interest in this Clarity Act?
Well, the Genius Act was making stablecoin by law in the US, and the Clarity Act will kind of do the same thing with sort of like with like making the, can't remember the word right now, but the defining what sort of assets cryptocurrency will fall under, if it will be registered as a security or a non-security, which will have huge implementations on investors. And it also seems like that the big institutions are sort of waiting on the sideline because they are not allowed to participate in sort of like the big move waves yet until it falls under law.
So therefore people think that a decision in the US Senate will be a buy signal, or what do people think?
Well, I don't really know if people think it's a sell the news event or not, but as how I look at it, it seems like if this is a go signal, Genius Act passed into law August, and right now it's huge stablecoin movements coming now, sort of like a half a year later.
Yep.
So maybe something like that could happen as well with the Clarity Act. If it passes by April, then probably summer we're going to see huge activities from that outcome.
But there's also a lot of other things happening in this regeneration or rebuilding of classical finance, you could say, because we are not anymore talking only about people starting to buy Bitcoin or buy Ethereum. We are starting to see a lot of companies building new infrastructure, both on tokenization and on stablecoins.
Yeah, and I really think
on blockchain.
Yeah, and I really think that at some point utility will overtake speculation. In the early phases, crypto assets traded or have been traded entirely on narratives and liquidity cycles and stuff like that. But at some point, we will probably see prices move away from that and mainly be based on actual usage more and more.
And of course, we are not financial advisors, but we are journalists. And in this case, it still seems to be a little odd that you have all this crash news on the Bitcoin and on the altcoins. And at the same time, there's not only one new initiative on the rebuilding of the finance structure. It happens every day. We are following it also as a newsletter we have now, which is called Kaupr Today. And it's filled with news every day. And last day it was Citi that said I should do something on Bitcoin. Even and Morgan Stanley has moved. I would say sooner or later there has to be a sort of a lift up in the psychology. But then maybe I'm a little on the limp. I'm not sure.
Well, based on all the news, it sort of feels like crypto is undervalued.
Yeah, sort of. And someone have even said that maybe now there is a crypto winter, but there's a stablecoin summer.
Perhaps.
Well, follow the news. We have to follow the news. Are there any other things at the global level right now that it's important?
Nothing that I have written down.
No, and then we will continue and move on to one of our remote guests. So then we will welcome Markus Myrstad from January. Hello, Markus.
Hello, Morten.
Thank you very much for being our guest. And first, maybe you could share for the viewers short information about January. What is the company and what type of problem are you trying to solve?
Yes, so first of all, I'm Markus Myrstad. I'm the Chief Risk and Compliance Officer at January. I'm also one of the co-founders. January is a payment institution operating out of Copenhagen. We are licensed by the Danish FSA under PSD2. And with that license, we are providing bank accounts, or not bank accounts, payment accounts, and IBANs to crypto companies predominantly. On top of that, we've built crypto services. So we also do crypto custody, crypto transfer services, crypto conversions, which allows us to operate as a one-stop financial partner for the crypto industry.
So you can more or less solve all kinds of money flow issues that crypto companies has, fiat, Bitcoin, whatever, and including stablecoins, as I understand it.
Yes, that is correct. We are currently seeing this new regulation that's going to be implemented on Monday, actually, where VASPs and CASPs are no longer allowed to process stablecoin payments, even stablecoin deposits into their platform, without also having a PSD2 license or partnering with a PSD2 license entity. And because January have the PSD2 license already and we are MiCA compliant, we can actually provide the infrastructure that allows us to function as the partner needed by CASPs and VASPs.
But it seems like this is a news coming, and maybe not everybody has catched it. It has been waiting to be there for 7 or 8 months or something. But the real issue is that everybody that is supposed to be a crypto exchange and have a CASP license, they also have to have an e-money license if they are going to support stablecoins. Is that the way to think of it? Yeah.
Yes.
And do you foresee that there will be companies and crypto exchanges that are not able to support it at this moment, or will it be a surprise?
Yes. So it all comes from EBA, the European Banking Authority, who came out in June last year and said that because MiCA states that EMTs are equivalent to funds, they interpret MiCA in such a way that you need a PSD2 license in order to handle stablecoins. And then they came out with what's called a no action letter, where they basically told all the supervisory authorities that we interpret the regulation in this way. We know that the industry is not compliant with this, so we are giving everybody 9 months to find a solution. And because January is in this bridge building between traditional finance, between the payments and the crypto industry. I saw this earlier. I've been trying to go out and talk about it and try and raise awareness that this is going to be an issue. But it has been very difficult to get people's attention on this because it was 9 months into the future, and crypto is very much a here and now industry. But we have had a few companies coming along the way, and then in the past 2 months we've had more and more come approach us about our solutions so that they as a CASP can continue to provide stablecoin services.
What can be the risk if you are not either having the e-money license or have applied for it?
Yes, so EBA actually came out with a follow-up statement or opinion 2 weeks ago, where they addressed how the transition is going to be implemented here 1st of March. And what they say is that there's 3 opportunities. So either a CAS gets a PSD2 license, and then they can continue to do EMT services. If they're in the application process, so if they have applied for a PSD2 license in addition to their CAS license, but the PSD2 license is not yet approved, they can continue to service existing customers with EMT services, but they cannot provide EMT services to new customers, and they cannot market their EMT services. If they have a partner, they can continue to operate and provide EMT services. If they don't have a partner and they don't have an application for a PSD2 license, they need to close down all their EMT activity. So that means deposits into the platform in EMT and withdrawals out of the platform in EMT predominantly, and custody in EMT if any such transfer is allowed.
So we will then have to look out for what is happening after the 1st of March then to see how the different companies and exchanges are navigating in this new environment, sort of. And yet another proof that regulations is part of the deal all over, not only on the CAS side, but this time also on the e-money side. But when we are talking about stablecoins, Markus, it could, as I understand, you have also been participating in the report that was published yesterday. And what is the main findings of that report? Because it says something about the growth and opportunities of stablecoins.
Yeah, I think Leon mentioned it just before, right? That even though we have crypto winter, we almost have stablecoin summer. So we are seeing huge growth in stablecoins. We're seeing, a 9-bank consortium of European very large banks who are going together to create a European stablecoin. We're seeing more and more adoption of euro-denominated stablecoins, although from a very low level. But it is coming, and we are also seeing large corporates and stuff like that who are beginning to show interest into the use of stablecoin payments for global B2B payments.
So what is the outlook for stablecoins then? Is it just a crypto thing, or is it a part of the future finance?
No, it's definitely a part of the future finance. The way I see it, stablecoins are going to be the facilitator of tokenization of the financial industry. And not only that, but also it will facilitate global payments, right? So you have all of these large companies like IKEA and Maersk and what's called not Statoil anymore, the Equinor, those kind of companies, right? Who are doing a lot of transactions around the world and paying a lot of, both sending and receiving funds all across the globe. And if you have to wait 2 weeks for SWIFT transfer and you have to pay, between 1% and 3%, then suddenly it becomes much more interesting to pay maybe 0.5% to do a conversion into stablecoin, transfer that with a almost immediate settlement. It's just a much better value proposition compared to traditional banking rails.
So it will be interesting to follow this movement both on the short term and on the long term. And we thank you very much to Markus for sharing his insight with us. Thank you very much then, Markus. And we will now move on then, Leon, to another topic.
Yeah, we're not going to roll anything between.
You mean the ad, or
okay, no, I'll continue.
Yeah.
Okay. Will Jesus Christ return before 2027? Will Donald Trump say egg in his next speech? Or will Elon Musk tweet 300 times until March 3? Please roll the video.
To be you'd lose your money on slots in Vegas, but today, not only can you do that, you can also bet on your favorite sports team, on the opening coin toss, on this individual pitch, or on all three in a parlay. You can do it from your phone, your tablet, your Apple Watch. You don't just have to gamble on sports, you can gamble on esports, on video game items, on slots with those items. You can do it in Roblox, or on regular stocks, on meme stocks, gamble with calls, gamble on earning calls, gamble on calls with earning calls. You can gamble on political events, world events. You can bet if Zelensky's going to wear a suit before July, if Jerome Powell's going to say inflation 50 or 60 times in September. And you don't just have to gamble on that. You can gamble on crypto coins, Trump coin, Dogecoin, Fartcoin. You can gamble on the champion of Fartcoin coin, and you can gamble on any of the posts the champion of Fartcoin has ever made on whether they will become popular or not.
Yeah, so a huge shout out to Kaupr TV. Didn't have time to make our own edit, so yeah, we borrowed his. But the topic is prediction markets, which is becoming a huge thing. Prediction markets allow people to trade and bet, basically, or make trades on things that will happen on future outcomes. Yeah, sports, politics, number go up, tweets, even Jesus Christ. There's a 5% on poly market right now that Jesus Christ will return in 2027. Yeah.
In the beginning, this was seen to be just a speculative thing. And is it still that?
Alternative trading? Well, sports betting has been around for a long time, but like having to, being able to bet on like political things is sort of like the new products.
There have even been some maybe rumors or proof that they also have been manipulating, and there have been inside trading this week, I think, from some people.
This week?
News this week, of course it has happened before.
Well, for example, in Norway there was the Norwegian traditional newspaper VG. They posted an article a few weeks ago where they mentioned poly markets and that there were potential insider trading around the Nobel Peace Prize. So there has been a lot of incidents or speculations about insider trading.
But is it like it has been like that in a lot of new industries, and finance is a driving force. Money is a driving force. In a lot of new technology and innovation. And will it be more regulated? Will it be more normal? Will it be other use cases that we can see after some time?
Well, a use case right now is the people use it as an indicator. Like we talked about with the Clarity Act, now I think it's 70% on poly market that it will pass within this year. And last week it spiked because of some comments from some senator or something like that. And you could see it in the Norwegian election. You sort of a few days before the election, the party that won spiked like 80% up or something like that. So it sort of gave an indication that they were going to win, and they were right as well.
Yeah, and I've even seen that media companies like Dow Jones have been starting to use those type of predictions as part of a signal to cover the finance industry.
Well, it can measure what people are willing to risk money on.
Yeah.
So maybe compared to a traditional poll, you could get a more raw indication, probably.
Yeah. But do you think that Norsk Tipping and Svenska Spel will launch prediction markets?
Well, on Norsk Tipping, you can bet on weird things. You could bet on Eurovision sometimes, which is sort of like a prediction. Yeah, so that's sort of like the finite. Is it gambling or is it prediction? And it seems like gambling is sort of meant to be fun, but and that's sort of the loophole here. That gambling is like a fun thing, but prediction markets are sort of like speculating on an outcome. Yeah.
But I have even heard, Leon, that you are part of the gambling generation.
Oh yeah, I'm generation gambling. That's for sure. Growing up with playing sports games and buying like this online, basically like football trading cards. Stole my mom's MasterCard and did that when I was like 13. So sort of desensitized my generation when it comes to gambling, and it's grown pretty much very much the last years.
So then what we have to wait and see is whether this will be one of the new major consumer applications sort of in crypto. Is that because we have to be honest and say that there's a lot of things happening in the blockchain in the seller, but there hasn't been that many good consumer applications.
Yeah, that seems true. These have gained traction. I think for many people, because it seems like trading, seems like gambling, it's sort of like another way to like quick money in a way. So that's probably why it also gets so popular so fast.
Okay, then are there anything more to say about this topic at the moment?
Go all in on Jesus returning in 2020.
That's some odds on that one, isn't it? Depends on what you believe, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Thank you. We will then move on to the last part of this show, which will then be Venkat Vadi joining us. Venkat, are you joining us from Oslo, Norway?
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks for having me today, Leon and Morten.
Yes, and then we will have to introduce you as well to our viewers. And who are you, and what is your interest in the space that we are covering?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Venkat, based in Oslo, Norway, and I have been through different market cycles and structural shifts for the past few years. And alongside that, I have also been working together with Morten and Leon and a wonderful team here in Kaupr, covering digital assets ecosystem across the Nordics. And I would say, that experience has given me insights into how regulators think, institutions think, and as well as the general market, participants. And my passion lies in technical analysis, and we will be, looking a bit more into that today.
And why is that your passion?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. So, I think I believe it all started when I was, trying to find structure into what actually looks like chaos for a normal person, looking at price action. And for me, technical analysis isn't about predicting the future, but rather identifying probabilities, right? And over time, I became really interested in how liquidity and positioning and market sentiment basically stays in the price action, and you can basically have several data points actually, and certainly have an output which is kind of predictable, and most people would argue that, but I would say it is quite interesting when you have overlapping situation and could have an output which basically makes sense.
Yes, and you said that maybe this space is chaotic, and therefore it could be interesting to hear what can we read out of the market when you look at the charts today. So take it away, Venkat.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna share my screen. Here we go. You can see my screen now, Morten?
Yep.
Perfect. So, currently we're looking at Bitcoin on a weekly time frame, right? And there is no doubt that the liquidation event that we had in October has been a pivotal moment for the markets. We have seen a drawdown of 53%, which is quite a lot. And currently we are around 66,000. And what was really interesting to see is that this particular zone at around 66,000 has been our cycle top in 2021. As you guys can see, we have tested this zone 2 times and rejected hardly. And recently in 2024, when we were consolidating in this zone for a few months and broke to that zone and later was about that specific zone, we later flipped this into support. So currently we are at our cycle top at 2021. So it will be really interesting to see whether if we are going to hold this specific zone or if you're going to get like any huge rejection from this part. And if I look closer into the daily, for me, this kind of represents a ascending triangle, right? I mean, we were forming a ascending triangle in November of 2025, and we actually broke down, as you guys can see, and we were, trying to push up, but the momentum wasn't enough, and we came right back down. So, and for me, what it looks like is that we are like forming something similar in the current market. And if I were to make a like clone of what has been done with the price action previously and place it right next to the current price, this basically puts us around 45,000, which is like one of the scenarios since this lower trend line of the ascending trend channel has been support since 2019. So historically speaking, this is a really major support, but it doesn't necessarily has to reach that level to try identify the trend. We could also see a play where we basically established a support above 69k and retest the other support and resistance levels that we have above here. So I think that's what I'm currently looking for when it comes to the liquidity areas, and hopefully we're gonna figure out what's gonna happen after some time of consolidation and after some momentum kind of builds up. And currently when I also look at volume, it's been declining a bit. So I guess nothing interesting is gonna be happening at least for a few weeks. I think first we need to let the market do its thing. Let's the price action do its thing and give the market opportunity to build up some momentum before it does any sort of move, either if it's gonna be downside or if it's gonna be upside. So I think we have a few really interesting months ahead of us, and I can't really wait to see what's gonna unfold.
Thank you, Venkat. What about you, Leon? Do you use technical analysis?
It's just witchcraft for me. No, I think it's a good. I feel like it sort of shows something, but it doesn't. You can look outside the window and see a few clouds, and maybe it's going to rain, maybe it's not going to rain. That's sort of like what I feel like.
Is that how you are thinking about it also, Venkat? Or has it supported you investing and holding crypto for the last years?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Leon, but at the same time, technical analysis isn't about predicting the future, right? It doesn't give you certainty, but at the same time, it does give you some context, right? It shows us where the price has reached historically and where the investors were willing to pay for the specific asset class. And it's basically like a visual representation of the market psychology and what each individual or group of individuals are thinking historically. And when you overlap these historical levels, price always tends to respect it in a way that it either rejects or it also finds support at this area. So in certain way, you could actually find the probabilities while looking at the price action and basing your actions at what has been done previously, and then you could also in some cases mitigate risk even before it happens.
Yes, and as I said in the introduction to the show, that we plan that you will visit the live show every month. But we also have some plans regarding written content. Venkat, could you share some of that?
Yeah, definitely. So today we were just looking at the weekly graph of Bitcoin just to get a bigger picture. But on Kaupr.io, I think it's much more possible to share some more, in terms of shortened time frames to keep our readers up to date on the short form content. So I think we're gonna be launching a blog post or a profile with me, and we're gonna be keeping you guys updated on that as well.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. And then we will wrap up. Thank you very much, Venkat. And we will see each other again quite soon. But now we will wrapping up this show that has been both on a substantial and strategic level. And we have talked about prediction market and we have seen some graphs. But what will happen in the next weeks? That is what we are focusing on right now. And there is a high agenda on events in the Nordics and especially in Sweden. And people could look into the event calendar that we have on Kaupr. But already next week, 1 week from now, we will together with exciting women launch a diversity webinar next Friday at 3:00. We had one of those last year, and we also want to support that this year in relation to the 8th of March, which is the Women's Day. We will also support a branch report or an industry report that will be presented by Blockchain Sweden on the 10th of March. That's a physical event, but we will cover it as a news, and you will be able to understand and learn what is the trend in the blockchain industry in Sweden right at the moment. There was a report that was released more than 1 year ago. It has been used by a lot of people because it shares about the adoption, it shares about how many crypto companies has a bank, for instance, what are the plans. But we will also then be participating in the Crypto Adoption Week, which we will share some information about here. This already since 2018, K33 has done Norwegian surveys, asked about 1,000 people about what are they investing in when it comes to crypto. And year by year, the crypto adoption has increased. And I think that in Norway, the adoption level at the last report was about 12.8%. But we will have different webinars for each country and also summarize it in a Nordic event. And in addition to K33 as the producer, intelligence behind the report, they are also supported by FIRI, the crypto exchange in Norway and Denmark, and also Nordic Blockchain Association, as well as Kaupr will also join in as a media partner. So we will then be launching this as an event, a virtual event that you also can find on Kaupr, but also on YouTube and LinkedIn. So that maybe wraps up the event calendar for the coming weeks, I would think. And anything to say more before we wrap it up, Leon?
Well, if the Clarity Act doesn't pass before April, then we're probably going to talk about it again next time.
Yeah, but a good topic can be repeated.
Yeah.
Of course it can. So, but it has been fun also to have breaking news here 3 minutes after we knew about it. That was a really exciting way to use this live platform. Thank you very much for following us. Thank you very much for watching. And this show is also available as a recorded video, both on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on the Kaupr TV side. Thank you very much, then.
Thank you.